Elijah was one of the most powerful prophets of the Old Testament, sent by God to call Israel back to him. His story begins with a confrontation against King Ahab, as Elijah declares a drought across the land due to Israel's idolatry. In 1 Kings 18:38, we see Elijah's faith and God's response. Then the fire of the Lord fell and consumed the burnt offering and the wood and the stones and the dust, and licked up the water that was in the trench. This moment showed God's supremacy over the false god, Baal. Despite his victory on Mount Carmel, Elijah fled to the wilderness, overwhelmed with despair. In 1 Kings 19:4, he prayed, "It is enough. Now, O Lord, take away my life, for I am no better than my fathers." But God did not abandon Elijah. Instead, he sent an angel to provide food and strength, reminding us that even the strongest believers need God's sustaining care. As Elijah's ministry began to draw to a close, God instructed him to call a successor. In 1 Kings 19:19, we read, "So he departed from there and found Elisha the son of Shaphat, who was plowing with 12 yoke of oxen in front of him, and Elijah passed by him and cast his cloak upon him." This act symbolized the passing of spiritual authority and a shared mission to serve God. One of the most dramatic moments in biblical history is the departure of Elijah. In 2 Kings 2 verse 11, we witness the moment Elijah is taken to heaven. And as they still went on and talked, behold, chariots of fire and horses of fire separated the two of them, and Elijah went up by a whirlwind into heaven. This miraculous event emphasized God's power and Elijah's unique role as his prophet. Elisha continued Elijah's legacy with great faith. After Elijah's departure, Elisha took up his cloak and struck the waters of the Jordan, parting them just as Elijah had done. In 2 Kings 2:14, he said, "Where is the Lord, the God of Elijah?" And when he had struck the water, it was parted to the one side and to the other, and Elisha went over. This miracle demonstrated that the same God who empowered Elijah was now working through Elisha. Elisha's ministry was marked by incredible miracles, showing God's care for his people. In 2 Kings 4, we see him multiply a widow's oil to save her family from debt, raise the Shunammite woman's son from the dead, and feed 100 men with just a few loaves of bread. 2 Kings 4:43-44 says, "They shall eat and have some left. So he set it before them, and they ate and had some left, according to the word of the Lord." These acts pointed forward to the greater miracles of Jesus Christ. The stories of Elijah and Elisha remind us of God's power, his provision, and his faithfulness across generations. Through their lives, we see that God equips those he calls and provides for his people in every season.